Greetings, royal family. Thanks for clicking on the video. I'm back. You're back. We're back. All right. Shahs of Sunset, season 9, episode 8. Zero Thanksgiving. That's the title of the episode. I couldn't wait to get on here and talk about this episode because the Shahs are doing their thing this season so far. We're 8 episodes in and they are not skimping on the drama. Now, let me tell you something. One thing about Reza, he is definitely going to find a way to belittle Mike every chance he gets. All right. If you've been watching the Shahs since the beginning and for some time, then you know that he always tries to sun Mike, Reza, that is. Anyway, let's get into this review. So Destiny and Reza, they're chit-chatting, they're talking, and she tells Reza and Adam that, she met with Mike and he apologized, but she hasn't heard from Paulina since the Halloween party. Destiny, you really starting to, let's be honest, Destiny. You got the hots for Paulina or what? You are so concerned with Paulina. Anyway, Reza asks if she thinks that, Paulina hasn't reached out to her because Mike told her not to and she's scared, or because she just doesn't want to talk to Destiny. So see what Reza is doing. He's not saying it outright, but he's trying to make it seem like Mike is this monster. And maybe he is, right? But I mean, this is supposed to be your homeboy. So Reza specifically asked Destiny, do you think that Paulina's not reaching out to you because Mike told her not to? Duh. Why would he encourage Paulina and Destiny to continue this, whatever this situation is, friendship, whatever, and Paulina's out here telling all their business? Of course, Paulina's out of line. She's out of order. Anyway, Reza claims that he used to be Mike because he was also unfaithful in his relationship. So he understands Mike, right? Reza also brought up, his own father cheating on his mother, right? And I just feel like Destiny, yeah, that's all good and everything, Reza, because always going to try to find a way to make it about you. But Destiny, in my opinion, she acts like she's in love with or has a crush on Paulina. I just feel like, why can't she just tell Paulina, look, like, I don't want to be involved with you and Mike's drama, right? It also makes me think, like, if Paulina and Destiny are working together in some shape, form, or fashion to eliminate Mike so that they can be together. You think that's what it is? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. Like, the way that does Destiny know Paulina before she started dating Mike? Like, do they have, like, mutual friends? Are they cool? I don't know. The way that Destiny acts over Paulina, though, it just gives me very much, I got a crush on you, Anyway, we shift gears to see Mike and MJ. So they meet up for lunch and they're at a restaurant. And Mike is talking about how he gets triggered when Reza clowns him about his wardrobe and how much he doesn't spend on clothes and jewelry, right? So I said, well, this is new. I've never heard this before. Not that I can recall, right? So Mike went into talking about, him coming to America and his family didn't have a lot of money, et cetera, right? So MJ points out that Reza clowns Mike out of his own insecurities, and I happen to agree with MJ. I feel like Reza needs someone to be his personal punching bag. Every season we see that. It was MJ for a time. Adam seems to be very submissive when it comes to Reza, and when it comes to their relationship, Mike, like, he needs somebody to talk down to. And I'm saying to myself, are the tables about to turn? Will Reza be sat down for some sort of intervention? Remember, they tried to do that to Gigi. They tried to do that to MJ. Is Reza going to be sat down and told about himself and his crazy behavior? Anyway, Mike, he wants to sit down with Reza to squash all of this mess. So we'll see that later on in the episode. Now, we shift gears to Nema and Gigi. Is anyone else confused as to why Gigi is mad at Nema? Gigi showed up to the little restaurant diner dressed like Tupac. I don't understand. Like, Nema helped this girl with her business. Remember when she was high as a Georgia pine and she gave that horrible presentation and she was trying to get her little, I think it was her cannabis business off the ground. He stuck beside her. I don't even understand what the issue is. I don't know. Gigi can walk all over Nema. Nema, he allows it. He allows Gigi to treat him like trash. I think that's what it is. I mean, there was no resolve with this conversation, and I still don't know what the heck Gigi's issue is. I don't know. Does she like Nema? Is she scared to admit that she likes Nema because he's so soft and she's mad that he lets her walk all over him? I don't know. I don't get Gigi. I guess she needs a storyline. Anyway, moving on to the main event. Mike and Reza, right? So they finally sit down and they're talking. They're meeting up. And these two are such clowns. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really argue like they're blood brothers and they were raised together. You know what I'm saying? Like, both of them are clowns. But Reza was the bigger clown in this scene, right? So they're sitting down there talking. Reza is dressed like in a jogger suit, you know, and his car wasn't clean. So Mike is like, why didn't you get the car washed? You know, Reza's being an a-hole. And Reza's like, you know, I just wanted to like kind of like, you know, be simple. You know, the car's been parked under a tree for so long. I don't get out the house. And the way that I'm dressed, I wanted to dress down. You know what I'm saying? Because you always make fun of me. I'm like, what? Nothing more than MJ probably went back and told Reza what Mike said about how Reza triggers him. And he's trying to be an a-hole. Anyway, Reza, he says that Mike triggers him because Mike reminds him of his father who cheated on his mom. And I said to myself, Reza, get out of here. Get out of here. I think Reza is so full of ish. Bottom line, mind your business, Reza. You don't have to involve yourself in Mike's relationships. You've done this before. Why do you always feel like you have to jump in Mike's relationships? Now, if Mike reminds Reza of his father, I feel like Reza, that's your problem. What does that have to do with Mike? And like Reza is taking out his anger out on Mike, which is, I don't think that's fair in my opinion, right? Like, let me know what y'all think, right? Listen, this is how I feel. If Mike wants to cheat on every single woman that he gets with, that is his damn business. I feel like Reza is mad because probably he can't cheat and be promiscuous like he used to. I know it sounds crazy, right? I mean, do you envy Mike because he's a bachelor and you're not, Reza? Because you was out here swinging and throwing it and laying it low and spreading it wide even when you were with Adam. I'm just saying, think about it. Think about it. Anyway, so Reza wants, he just wants people that he can like control, like I said before. And it seems like, you know, his friends are kind of like slowly recognizing his BS. And as far as Paulina, Miss Thing, keep your relationship issues in house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you either go to counseling, you either stay and go to counseling, leave and go to counseling. I just don't think that Paulina is a victim. I really, really don't. I feel like she is a volunteer. So all this chaos that you causing amongst the Shahs, it's your fault. And I do think that she should be called out on it, quite frankly. You know, Paulina, you started all this mess. This is not about Mike's cheating because it doesn't necessarily affect the group unless the woman being cheated on makes it an issue and brings it to the group. Keep your relationship issues in house. Reza is loving every minute of this, by the way. Moving along. Anyway, so they have Friendsgiving, right? So that's what this whole episode is about. London and Nema, for whatever reason, are hosting a Friendsgiving. You know, Nema is very adamant about treating his friends like family. You know, they're the only family that he has. He wants to remain close to them, yada, yada. So everyone arrives at this big house and they all bring a dish, right? Now, did y'all peep Reza's outfit? Reza showed up in his Gucci sweater and his Fendi scarf. And I feel like that was a jab at Mike, right? He looked absolutely crazy, but I do feel that that was a jab at Mike. Anyway, so it's time to eat. And in this beautiful big house with this beautiful decor and table set up, there are no servers. So London, she tries to make everyone's plate on a side plate, one by one. Then MJ jumps in to help, right? Because the table is set up outside, so she's going back and forth in the kitchen. And it's just like MJ's looking like, you're going to serve people their dinners on a side plate? MJ jumps in to help, and Mike says that MJ seems like she's the type of person who doesn't wash her hands very often. Girl, they cut to the dramatic scene where MJ is using her hands to pick up pieces of food and put it on the plate. The dramatic music in this scene, plus Mike's commentary, was so freaking funny. So there was a little bit of comic relief in this episode. But MJ, for real, put some gloves on. Why are you using your hands to share out people's food? That's gross. Anyway, so the conversation is flowing, and Mike ends up giving Reza his props regarding, you know, teaching him how to teaching him about like real estate and construction. And Mike, he goes into talking about taking accountability. Now he wants Reza and others to take accountability, for the things that's going on within the group. Mike says that he's willing to take accountability. He wants other people to do the same, right? So Mike tells Reza that he gets involved in certain things in his life, and if it doesn't go Reza's way, he gets upset. I have been saying this. Reza agrees. Then there's a but, right? Gigi says that she's tired of all the drama. Of all people, Gigi, right? Golnesa says that she's tired of all the drama. Then she proceeds to say that she would ask, where's Paulina? She says, I would ask, where's Paulina? But she doesn't want to get, anything started. Gigi, if you didn't see Paulina arrive with Mike, right? And no one mentioned that she's going to be arriving, why are you bringing her up? She obviously is not there for a reason. This is the same Paulina that Gigi cussed out and told her that she doesn't want to hear about her and Mike's issues. Why do you want to know where she is? Gigi just called the girl the B word the last episode. So why are you concerned about where Paulina's at? Phony, phony, phony. Anyway, Mike says that Paulina is home, and Paulina feels that the group doesn't play nice and they are trying to sabotage her and Mike's relationship. Nah, Mike. Those are your feelings. Paulina can't feel that way when she's willing to text and call anyone, in the group who's willing to listen regarding the issues that's in the relationship. Paulina don't feel like that. You feel like that, Mike. But whatever. Good attempt. I see what you're trying to do. I just feel like Mike is controlling, right? He is, right? He comes across as controlling. But I just don't understand why Paulina feels that telling the group this is going to save her. Like, it's either you want to be with Mike or you don't. Or what are you doing? You trying to solidify your spot on as a cast member on Shahs? Like, what's up with that? I don't know. I feel like if Paulina got something to say, let her say it, right? So Reza says she would be here right now if you let her. Now, why did Reza go and say that? Mike's reply was, she doesn't like you. This is what Mike says to Reza. You were sending spoof text messages. So here we go back to the spoof text messages. Mike calls Paulina at the table, right? He puts her on speaker, and she says that she doesn't want to get into, why she's not at the Friendsgiving feast, okay? Paulina says that she doesn't trust the group, right? Mike tried to end the call, but Paulina said, no, I have something to say. And that's where the episode ends. Okay, here's the thing, Mike. You are so concerned with who sent the spoof text messages. I think you need to focus on why you were responding to the spoof text messages, right? Do I think Reza has something to do with the spoof text messages? Yes. I think that because he knew that Mike would take the bait to probably prove his point, Reza that is. And Mike triggers Reza because Mike is a cheater, just like Reza's father was, yada, yada. As far as Paulina saying that she doesn't trust the group, ma'am, you trusted them enough to message them multiple times in the middle of the night regarding your issues with Mike. You would talk to anybody who would listen. You telling Destiny your business. You try to tell MJ all your business, saying that this is not the first time that Mike has done this, talking to other girls online, yada, yada. So for Paulina to say that, this is why I oftentimes say, stay out of your friend's business and their relationship. Don't get involved, because they gonna always, Destiny, I hope you're listening, they gonna always choose their man, girl, no matter how no good he is. To Paulina ain't tired yet. She's obviously not tired. So now I want to know what's going to happen next week. Is she going to try to throw Destiny under the bus? Is she going to be dismissive toward Destiny? Destiny, it serves you right if she does, because you were going hard in the paint for Paulina, and Paulina is only telling you what she wants you to know. Mike is supposed to be your friend. Stay out of it. I think that Destiny has the hots for Paulina, or she's upset with Mike and she wants to see Mike's demise of his relationship, because why else would you continuously get involved and stay involved in Paulina and Mike's relationship? I don't care if Paulina texted me and told me a whole bunch of stuff that Mike was doing. I would politely tell Paulina, this is none of my business, sis. Unless you're willing to leave the relationship and you need a safe place to be, I might be able to help you. But until then, I don't want to be involved. Leave me out of it. That's what Gigi did, right? They all phony. So that's it. That's all for this episode 8. Listen, the Shahs are not skimping on the drama, and I am here for it. I can't wait until next week to see what Paulina is going to say at this Friendsgiving. Is Mike controlling? Yes. Is Paulina tied? No, not yet. I just think that Reza and everybody else should stay out of it. And because Reza doesn't want to make it seem like he's overstepping his bounds and being all up in Mike's relationship again, I think that he is using Destiny and possibly other people too, because the whole time that Paulina was on that phone and Gigi was going back and forth with Mike a little bit, Reza really wasn't saying much. Y'all notice that? Reza was awfully quiet, just like he was awfully quiet at that Halloween party. This reeks of Reza. All right, Royal Family, I'm signing off. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. Until next time.